So the theory of karma, what is karma? Cause and effect, yes. What else? So, can there be an effect without a cause?
No.
So there has to be a cause, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the action has to be there before a reaction can come, right? Cause and effect, action and reaction, and every action has a equal and opposite reaction. That is the Einstein's theory of relativity also, which he explained and which he proved in science. It was proven. So it's not a theory that just we are throwing it in the air. It was a proven fact, okay? And that is also how the universe works. The universe works with everything, action and reaction, cause and effect. So without a cause, there is no effect, and without an action, there is no reaction. So if now you guys are, who are we? We are spiritual beings on a journey of life, right? And we all come with certain destiny. What is a destiny? A plan, a birthing plan. It's a plan of life. What all you're going to create, what you're going to experience, and what you're probably learn from through those experiences. Purpose of your life, yes. So all that is written in the birthing plan, right? Yes? So that is called destiny. So we all have lines on our hands. That's portrays your birthing plan. It portrays your destiny. Okay? So that's why we say that when a child is born, he comes with a destiny, because the lines are already there in his hands. There is a science of palmistry which can read the palm. And people who know that science can accurately predict what happens, what will happen in the future for you. And they can also tell you a little about the past too. What happened in the future, the past, and now what is going to happen in the future. So whatever is going to happen in the future has to have a past, right? Are you understanding? So if there's something that action, reaction is going to happen in the future, a past already happened, an action already happened, and then a reaction will come. Now how do you write your future? How do you create your future?
By doing the causes now.
Yes. So whatever you are doing there now, whatever the actions are happening now, that is writing your future. Right? So that is what's going to come in the future. And then when they come, then we wonder why it's happening to me. We all say, no, why is this happening to me only? I didn't do nothing. Right? We say that. But you did something at some point. You don't remember. And that is why the reaction is coming. Because without an action, there can be no reaction. And our life, every life that we take as any form, it doesn't matter whether it's a plant or animals or humans, whatever, every life is a reaction life. Understand that. Because life is on the basis of the actions that we took in the past. We write our destiny, and then we want to fulfill our desires, we want to experience certain things, and we want to finish off the karmic debts, obligations. Now how do we create our karmic obligation? Give and take among each other, right? So that what happens is, you gave me something like $100, I could not give it back to you. So I owe you $100, right? With interest now. So that means that now a karmic obligation is created between us. Okay? And now I died in the last life, I could not give it back, and now it is with the interest I have to give it back to you in the next life. So in my birthing plan, we write that yes, in this life you will come and meet me, maybe as a friend, as an acquaintance, and you will come and give me back those money. Okay? So then the cycle will get closed, because when an action happens, the cycle opens, and when the reaction comes, that is when the cycle gets closed. So for the action to close the cycle, we have to have a reaction. So that is how we close the so because sometimes, you know, it could be all the relationships. When there is a lot of give and take between the two souls, then they come as a family. Because when there are so many obligations, and how will you do it if you are just meeting it for maybe one time or 6 months? So then you come as a family so that you can be more together and you can fulfill those karmic obligations and also learn. There are learning aspects also that needs to be finished off. That is why we take the birth, new birth. So learning aspect is more important, because if you were abusive to the one person in this life, then in the next life, you know, you have to pay it off. That person can also come and give you the same kind of an abuse. You could go through the same abuse, or you could, or the person can forgive you also. But it's up to that person. Okay, so the karmic obligation, the learning aspect has to be done. And how do you learn things? How do you learn your lessons? By going through the same experience. When we do say you slap this Mirala. If you slap her, you don't know how it hurts. Only she knows. But if you get slapped, then you understand how it hurts. Okay? So that will be your learning experience. Because when you understand how it hurts, you probably won't do it again. Understand? So we have to learn through the different experiences. So karma theory says that we have to, what goes around comes around, and everything has to have a cause and effect. And this is also the theory of Einstein relativity theory, which says every action has an equal and an opposite reaction. Now why equal and opposite? Equal meaning it could be the same kind of action and reaction are the same kind, or the opposite. So the choice is yours. You can choose whether you want to go towards the negativity or the positivity. You have a choice there. So the reaction will come. Now how does the reaction comes? Say, as I gave you the example, you slapped her, right? And then you, of course, she felt very bad. But now you need to learn a lesson that it hurt her, because it did hurt her feelings, and she got hurt because of not only the feelings, physically also she got hurt. So you have to learn not to do that. So how does the universe teaches you? Yes. Yes. So in the next life, if you do not get a chance to meet again, so in the next life, in the future, you could say, Mirala or somebody else. If Mirala is don't have too many obligations with Mirala, she may not come back in your life. She may forgive you. If she forgives you, she's not going to come back in your life. But if she does not, if she holds the grudge, then she's attaching her energy to your energy. That means she will come and meet you and give you a slap back. But in case she forgives you, she moves on, but you still need to learn a lesson, right? Otherwise you'll keep doing the same thing. So somebody else, who also has a grudge against you, whom you hurt, will come back in your life to give you that slap. And when you get that slap, then you will know how it hurts and what not to do. So when you go through a hard experience, it teaches us how hard it is, how much it hurts. And then you don't want to repeat that, and you don't even want other people to experience it. And if you still do it, then you have to go through a double of that experience in the future. That means now if you still go and slap somebody else, now in the future you will get not one slap, maybe 10 slaps. Yes, because now the experience becomes harder, because you were supposed to learn a lesson from the last time. You didn't. You ignored it, and you still are doing it. Then the lessons are going to be more harder and harder and harder. Understand? Yes.
It could happen in the same life.
Yes, it could happen any time in the future. Yes. So if it didn't happen in this lifespan, then it goes on to the next life. Okay?
Why do we focus so much on negative karma? Isn't there as much good?
Positive also, same thing. If you gave $1 as to somebody to help out somebody, you already wrote a reward of $10 in your destiny. So how do you think some people are born rich and some are not? It's not God is favoring few people and not hating the other souls. God has nothing to do. It's your own karma. You are using your money to help others, sharing it with others. That means you are asking not only for yourself but to help others also. So you will be given more and more. Even in this life, you start helping with your money or with in any form, you will see your rewards will become bigger and bigger. Even in this life, it will start happening. Same for whether it's negative karma or positive karma. So the rewards will come. So if you are giving charity, you are going to be born rich in the next life because that's a reward owed to you. You can use it in any lifespan. It's in your credit account. You can use it in the next life also or in the next to next life. It's up to you. How you want to create your plan is up to you. But it is written by the universe that's a credit that's owed to you and you can reap it at any time. Okay? So it's the same thing. So whether it's credit or debit, that's debit. Negativity is debit. It's going to take you away. If you go and rob somebody's money, you are writing minus $10 that was owed to you will not now come. It will go to that gentleman or to somebody else that you owe. But it will not come into your account because you took away somebody else's money that was belonging to them. Okay? So that is how the universe works with the karma theory.
Like an accountant.
Like an accountant. Exactly. It's a balance sheet. Okay. Also, according to your karma, you did something bad to somebody, right? Another soul. Now, to experience that, you have to write in your own plan to close the cycle. You have to write in your own plan some kind of a physical disability for yourself too, because you made some other person physically disabled. So if you made somebody else physically disabled and they are not able to perform so then now it's something that you did became an action of yours. So close that cycle. You have to go through the same experience. So in your plan, you will write that experience that, okay, I have to go through this experience to close this cycle and to learn my lesson. So I will write a physical disability, like for example, an accident, or maybe I will not have a broken arm, or any kind of a physical disability has to be written in by you in your plan. So mental disabilities are also in the same way, where our soul writes in her birthing plan, in their birthing plan, mental disability before they come. Yes. When you're writing that to experience that, then the cycle will get closed, right? And you will learn a lesson also, because the lesson has to be learned, because if you hurt somebody physically or mentally, and now you need to go through the same experience, so you have to decide which life you want to do that, because you will have to go through that experience.
So sometimes
You can do it in the next life or next to next life or after 100 lives. It's up to you. Your choice. It has nothing to do with God. It's not a punishment. It is our choice. We do that for our own experience and to close the cycles and to learn through it. Okay? Yes. No, but you're not unaware when you're writing your birthing plan. When you're writing your plan or your destiny, you are aware of all the things that you did in the past lives. So many thousands of lives, you will know immediately all the things that you did, all the experiences you had. And then you also know what you owe to who, and for how much, what is exactly, how I have to, what are the open cycles, how do I close those cycles. So then you choose. You can do for 1,000 of lives, you can't close in one life all the cycles. So you pick a few and then you come as a destiny with that plan in this life. Everything is there in your subconscious mind, everything, and it comes up when you're doing the meditation. You see a lot of visions, you see, it's all information in your own mind, it's not coming from anywhere else. Okay, so all the information is coming from your subconscious mind in your own. So you know all the things when you're making a plan. So you make the plan according to what you want to experience. So if you wrote in your experience maybe an accident, right? So when you write an accident in your experience, and then you also write, okay, when I will fall down, somebody, you assign, okay, you please help me. So that person owes you because you helped him, so he will come and help you in this life to get better by the time of accident. So same way you plan it out such way that you are comfortable in your settings. Now, when we are writing that plan, when a situation is created in your life, no matter what, whether it's a disease or whether it's a chronic disease or whether it's some kind of a disability, whatever we are going through, that is the situation that was written by us. But how we act and react in that situation in this life is up to us. Okay? Now this is the point you all have to understand. Now you wrote it in your plan that there's going to be an accident. Now the accident happened. You also wrote that she's going to come and help you to recover. Okay? So she's also there. But still, now it's up to you how you handle the situation. You can be miserable in that situation and make the situation worse for yourself, or you can accept it and try to heal and see what is the lesson that needs to be learned. Maybe don't drive very fast, or maybe, don't drink and drive, whatever the lesson may be, but you have to learn that lesson. So you have to, if you start focusing on the lessons that need to be learned, then, and accept the situation and try to heal yourself rather than becoming depressed and more abusive and hurting others more because of you were in an accident, you are in pain, so you are hurting other people in the process, abusing others and creating more misery for your own self, then it's your own doing. Is anybody else coming to do that to you? No. Situation is there. Accident already happened. You can't change that. But how you deal with the situation is up to us. Okay? So if we deal it in a positive manner, then we are creating, now whatever the way we deal that situation that is coming in our life, because situations keep changing in one span of life. There will be so many situations that have come in your lives, right? But how we deal in those situations is up to us, and the way we deal it, that is how we are creating new karmas. Okay, a new karma is being created. If you are accepting and you are pleasant and you are able to deal in a nice positive manner, then you created a good karma for yourself. But if you are abusive and you are not accepting it and you are yelling and screaming and you're making everybody else's lives miserable, now you created a negative karma for yourself. So these are new karmas that you're creating. So one karma you are already suffering because of that was for the past actions. Now you're creating a new karma in the situation that was created by you only. Understand? When we start blaming others, then what happens? We think other people are responsible. So we have a right to abuse them. But when we think and understand that this situation is because of me and my own actions, then we do not point fingers at others. Then we try to solve the problem. So we have to see how to find solutions rather than the pointing fingers at other people. Okay? Because generally we do that only. Point fingers and then start screaming and create negative karmas for ourselves. Now to understand, whatever action is happening right now is the future destiny. So we can't blame it in the future again when negative thing will happen because of this negativity now. And then when that negative reaction will come, then again we point fingers and we do. So we can continue in this cycle forever. Doesn't matter, it's your life and your cycles. Who cares? Nobody is going to come and check it. You only have to understand it and you only have to stop it. And nobody else can do it for you because it's your life and you are the creator of your life.
So when I was a child and I went away to school, to the school for the blind, and the house parents there were abusing me, I probably abused them when
Yes,
I,
nothing happens
but
to you
then-
if
but
it's
then-
not supposed to
but What I'm
happen.
saying is they were abusing me, so they're creating their own bad karma again for,
That is yes. They could forgive you and forget also.
but they didn't.
So that's their
So
karma.
they
Yes.
were abusing.
So that is why I always say forgiveness is a tool that you can use to release yourself from the bad karma that happened. Okay? Because if we don't use that tool, then we will be caught in the cycle.
So those house
Action and the
parents
action.
were caught in-
But when we
caught in the
forgive
cycle.
and forget, then we move on. Then our energy with that other person is disconnected. They can move on and we can move on. Understand? But when we don't forgive, then we keep our energy connected, and as a result, we have to come back with each other to complete the cycle. And we are bound with each other, and if we don't like each other, why should we come back together? But we will if you keep them in your mind with hatred or with love also. They are both energies. Okay? Love energy gives you freedom, hatred binds you. Okay? So, with love, you can release anybody and everybody. But with hatred or any other kind of negative emotion, you bind yourself to the other people.
So you have to forgive your abuser.
Love.
Yeah.
Yes. Lots of unconditional love. Because love energy is healing energy, is God's energy, and is the energy through which the whole universe is created. And with that love energy, we can solve any and every problem. Every problem. So love energy frees you, because when you love somebody, all they have to give back is love. So love is good, right? Yes. So whether they are in the body or whether they are not here anymore in this creation, it doesn't matter. Energy is energy. When you give love energy, send unconditional love to the soul, whether dead or alive, they receive it and you free yourself from that. Okay? So do that, and you have to continuously grow in love energy. The more you grow, so it's not that why you keep seeking partners outside is also because you yourself is not filled with love. When you yourself fill yourself up with love, you will not feel that vacuum or void in you that another person's love can fill you up. Okay? When you fill yourself up with love, then you can give as much love to everybody, and you will receive love back from everybody. Then that void and that vacuum will be gone, because God is also love. But when you're seeking love from another person, another soul, as your partner or whatever relation, it doesn't matter, and that person does not come up to your expectations, then you're disappointed. And then you feel, oh, I have to find another person and another person. You can go on through all your life through so many partners. Still, that void will not be fulfilled unless you yourself fill it up with love. And the way to fill it up with love is give love. That's all. Give love. That's the only way to fill it up. The more you give, the more it comes back. What goes around comes around. So, whether the other person is trying to abuse you or curse you, if you give him, say thank you and I love you, how many times can he abuse you? He'll shut up in that very moment, and he'll be surprised, right? And maybe he'll learn a lesson too, how to deal with instead of anger, he can also, so you can become an example for the world. So all the, whether it's Jesus or whether any other religious figures, all they did was give love, that's all. So as I said, nothing happens without a reason. So if there is a problem, then there was an action behind it. Otherwise, there can be no reaction. So when we say that, even in the middle of tsunami, so many people died, then there are so many that are saved also. So the saved souls are those souls which are supposed to be saved from that time, from the tsunami. But they had to experience that, so they were in there, but they were still saved because that is how their plan was. So nothing happens, there are no accidents in this universe, everything is pre-planned. But how you act and react in different situations is all your freedom, because that is where you create new karmas, and that is how you write your future destiny. Yes.
How long do I have to send that love? Do I only do it once, twice? I don't understand.
Yes. So whenever you think of that person, you send love.
Oh, so if they come into my mind, go into, okay.
Yes. And it doesn't matter where they are, they will receive it. Okay? When you send, because everything is
Energy.
energy. Thank
So
you.
you're saying if they keep coming in my mind, that means I haven't let go.
Yes. If it is still coming in your mind, that means there is still a connection. So you have to keep sending love till that thought stops coming. Okay? So that is how we break the connection with the other people. Especially the people that you don't like their company, you have to give them lots of unconditional love. That's the only way to move away from those people. Otherwise, they'll be coming back in your next life. Universe is an accountant. He creates a balance sheet. Okay? So, if your negativity is and positivity are the same, positive actions and negative actions are the same, then you have an opportunity to come back as a human being, in the same form. If your negativity is more and positive is less, what do you think you are acting like?
An animal?
Animal. You are acting like an animal sitting in the human form. So what are you telling the universe? That you want to be an animal. You yourself are telling the universe how you want to be. Okay? It's not the universe is deciding, you are deciding with your actions. And if your positivity is much, much more than your negativity, then you can come back as an angel, you can come back as a spiritual person, as an advisor, as a spiritual guru. It's up to you. Till you get self-realized, you have to come back. Once you go through the self-realization experience, you don't need to come back. Then it's up to you whether you want to come back or not. You can choose. You can choose. Some spiritual self-realized souls, they come back just to help the other souls to elevate, so that they understand themselves and to teach, to preach. And some souls, but it's up to them. They have a choice. Universe can't force them. But in the case of negativity, if your negativity is too high, you want to come back as a human being, you will not be allowed to, because you were acting like an animal, sitting in the human body. You first learn how to, you experience that animal, fulfill your desire, then when your negativity will become, you will be, so when we come back as an animal or plant, you do not create karmas. Why you don't create karmas? Because in that species, we are the Bhog species. Bhog species means we only come to finish off our karmic cycles. And then when we outgrow that animal cycle and we come back as a human cycle, that is when we have a brain which is able to understand good and bad. Animals, they understand, but to a very limited extent. Their mind is not expanded. The creation is happening in such a manner that the equilibrium has to be maintained in this creation. So the big animals have to eat the small animals. They have to be eradicated, because otherwise, if that equilibrium or balance is not created, then the whole creation will be full of, whole earth will be full of all small animals and big animals, and so that way you create a balance. The creation creates a balance by big animals eats the small animals, and then human being hunts the animals also. So the balance is created in that manner. But when you intentionally want to hurt somebody out of spite, out of some kind of a negative emotion, then you are creating a karma. Are you guys understanding the theory of karma? So you understand how to live in this universe using your common sense? Your spirituality is nothing but using your common sense to live your life in such a manner that you are not hurting anybody else, and you are also enjoying the life and every experience that comes to in your life. You accept that experience. If there is a problem, you find a solution to that problem through your common sense without hurting others, and focus on solutions rather than the problem itself. Whatever you focus on, that is where you're giving your energy. And if you're wasting your energy on something which is already negative and you're putting more energy thinking about it, then that negativity will grow. Whatever you give energy to, that grows. Okay, so if you keep thinking of something negative that happened in the past or whatever, then you are giving energy to that thought, and that thought will be repeated in your life again and again, because you keep giving energy to that thought. But if you find solutions to that problem, then that problem will be gone forever. So the way to live life is using your common sense, trying to find solutions, and trying to make sure that you don't hurt anybody in the process. Your karma, what is a good karma and what is a bad karma? Some people think that it's very subjective. What is it subjective to? To your own self. Okay, not to the others. It's not subjective to what you think is right and what I think is right may be different. No. If any karma that does not hurt anybody, neither you nor me, is a good karma. Any action that hurts somebody else but benefits me, it's a bad karma. Any karma that hurts you and me is obviously a bad karma. Yes. So, simple theory that you base on what is good karma and what is bad karma simply on the basis that if it is not hurting anybody, then it's a good karma. And if that doesn't mean that, say, if you have to do some work, like a charity work or some service, so it is hurting you because you are taking out your time, you are moving around, you're doing service. So in a way, you are doing something, right? But if you say, "Oh, I am being hurt because I'm doing the action, but the other people are just sitting and I'm serving them food," right? But that is something. Service is something that you chose. First of all, it should give you enjoyment, and it does, because when you help others, it does give you satisfaction, and it gives you happiness. In your soul, you feel happy. And thirdly, also, where the service that we are doing, it may be physical, but it is not hurting you. Okay? It is not a hurting process. So you cannot say that it's not a good karma. It is a good karma because now you are doing a selfless action. Whenever we do a selfless action, that is a bonus. It's a very good karma. And now reward is automatically written in your future. Okay, and it raises your energy, it writes up a good reward for you, and it gives you satisfaction at the same time while you are doing the service, and it gives happiness to the other person for whom you are doing the service. So many good things come out of it. Okay, but whereas if you are hurting somebody, then you are hurting yourself, others, and it's creating a bad atmosphere, and everything is going bad, wrong. So That is how we determine what is good and what is bad. So, in future, if somebody says, how do I know which is good? It may be good for you and it may not be good for me. Well, if it's not hurting you and it's not hurting me, it's good, no matter what it is. So you don't have to say this is good, this is bad, like different religions will tell you, don't lie, don't cheat. Of course you don't do all those things. You don't have, use your common sense. If I'm going to do that, somebody else will get hurt. Why do somebody at church has to tell me not to cheat or not to rob somebody? I know it myself. You don't have to go to any church or go through any religion to learn this common sense things. Use your common sense to live.
I just have a question because this is bothering me. So, for example, you are fighting for your country and you kill people. For example, you're fighting for Germany under Hitler, and Hitler is telling you that for your country you will kill all these Jews, right? So, is that a negative towards you? Because you're, in fact, for yourself, you're just saying, you didn't know that this man is evil and he's telling me to do these things. And I became evil because of maybe ignorance, because I don't, or I'm just in the guise of doing
When the Hitler tells you to go and kill an innocent person for no reason, though you have a common sense, right? You have a judgment. You can see it's an innocent person not doing any harm to you, and you are trying to kill him because somebody else is guiding you, telling you. Then who is responsible? Who's taking the action? He can go and kill himself. Why you have to go and do his bidding? Yes, but if it is for protecting your country, now the human beings have drawn lines on the earth and created different countries, and they're fighting over the lines, of our boundaries. That is also ridiculous. But if you have to protect yourself, you protect your house. Say somebody wants to come in and take over your house and throw you out, like is happening in Ukraine, then you have to go and fight against that violence, right? Otherwise you will lose the house. So that common sense doesn't mean that you become stupid. It just means that you use your common sense to protect yourself, protect your belongings, protect your family. This is your duty towards your country, duty towards your family, duty towards your own self, and duty towards your own home, your society. Do your duties, but while doing the duties, if you have to hurt somebody, then that is not bad karma, because that you are doing your duty. But if you're doing it just because somebody is telling you to go and do it, and you think it's wrong, then you should not be doing it, because then that becomes your karma. Because in your mind you know it's wrong and you're still doing it. That means it's an intentional karma. Now, intentional karma has a bigger reaction than unintentional. As I said, if the soldier is protecting his country and has to go and fight for it, so that the other person cannot come, like Ukraine people are fighting to protect the land, and they have to kill the other person who is predator, then that's not a bad karma. That is your duty towards your country. Okay? Yes. Now, if I tell you I'm going to come and throw you out of your home, aren't you supposed to fight for it?
Yeah.
Common sense tells you that, no? Do that. Use your common sense to protect yourself, protect your family, and because of your own greed and because of your own selfishness, do not neglect your family, do not neglect your friends. If you are going out of the fire and you see other person lying down and cannot move but is alive, take them along with you. Understand? That is their duty. That comes under your duty. You have to do that. Protect others, because that becomes your good karma also. You need not have done it, but it becomes your good karma. And when you walk out, your conscience will tell you outside, I could have saved that person. It's not going to let you live. It would not let you sleep. That means you did a bad karma. Your conscience tells you immediately when you do something wrong. It comes up as a guilt. It bothers you. You can't sleep. It comes up as a disease because you keep thinking about it. Then you hurt one of your organs, and then it comes up as a disease in your body. That is how you create diseases. Understand? Live and let live should be the policy. But if you are trying to become an aggressor and go and capture other people's land and property, and then you have a right to protect, and you should protect. Because you don't want to give energy or power to the wrong people. Nothing happens. There has to be an action for a reaction. There has to be a cause for the effect. If somebody has died in a war because of a bomb that happened, even though they are not responsible for it right now, and if they died or if they broke their leg, it is according to their plan. They were supposed to go through that reaction. So the life itself is a reaction life. Understand? Action happened in the past, and whatever will happen because it was supposed to happen. There are no accidents in this universe. Life can easily be led just by using common sense, trying not to hurt others, and always giving out love, energy. These are the couple of things,
And kindness.
Spread love, don't hurt others, and use common sense to live a life. Common sense means be happy and make others happy. Live and let live. Simple things. Church should not have to write 10 commandments. Don't cheat, don't rob, don't steal, don't hurt your neighbor. What are this? I mean, they are unnecessary. It's like teaching a small child. Don't do this, don't do that. Even a child learns by his experience. You tell a child, don't go near the fire, he will still run towards the fire, and once he gets the heat and once he burns a little finger of his, you never have to tell the child again, don't go near the fire. He'll never go. Even if you push him towards it, it will not go. Because now he learned with his experience that it hurts. So that is how universe teaches you. It makes you go through the experiences so you can learn and grow with it. And do not repeat the mistakes. And if you still repeat the mistakes, then the lessons will become harder and harder and harder till you do learn.